This is the second flash fiction, flash fantasy, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, thing that I wrote in response to a daily sketch by Thomas Cargen, which I'll put up right there. And this one is called The Mask, the Merchant, the Mud, and the Maid. Do you like it? Said the merchant. It smelled just a little like rain. He grinned ear to ear and held the mask both-handed as if it were some great prize. Young Lady Thaudrey scowled without meaning to. The merchant saw the disdain in her demeanor, and the smile melted off his face. The lady's market maid, ever polite, said, "It's lovely, well crafted. It must have taken you ages to get it just—" "Not you, wench," snapped the merchant. "Do you not like it, my lady? It is in the likeness of your late grandfather." "I can see that," said Thaudrey. Her eyes were cold as green ice. "Strange thing to make." The merchant went red beneath his graying beard. All that he sold he wore on his back, and most of his pack was carved masks. He looked down at the piece in his hands. A fine work, finer than any he'd ever made. The slope of the man's lower lip was perfect, just as it was in the Duke's glory portraits. The merchant touched the nose, the squinting slits for the wearer to see through. Even the wood he chose had been perfect, a great slab of tight-ringed oak. It had nearly broken the mask merchant's heart to paint over the grain, but the inside of the mask still kept the wood's most secret beauty, unvarnished but for a few coats of his finest oil. It started to rain. "It is a gift," he said, looking up weakly. Lady Thaudrey scoffed. "Gift? And what would I want with such clutter? Come now, I'm thirsty and bored." Thaudrey turned with contempt and walked into the market. "Coming," the market maid said, though she turned to the merchant and whispered, "Sorry about her. She's had a very difficult—" "Sorry, how much was it for the mask again?" "Oh," the merchant looked down and shook his head. You don't have to do that. I insist. Please. You went through all that trouble to—" "No, thank you," he said, flushing. He turned and left quickly, itching his gray beard as he went deep into the crowd. At the edge of the town, the merchant should have stopped, but he didn't. He kept walking out of town by the orchard and the field, through lands of the late Duke of Thaudrey, through fields where he had twice watered the soil with blood. When at last his legs ached, he stopped for a moment. The merchant looked down at the mask he still held, the face of the man who had once held this land. "Clutter," he muttered, thirsty and bored. "I never should have left the north." A tear fell on the face of the mask on his hands. Then another. Then he threw the thing down. It fell with a splat face up in the mud. The merchant found himself stomping and stomping and stomping. He sobbed and then slipped in the wet mud. The mask merchant cursed, all covered in mud, on his pants and his pack in his hands. Still cursing, he rose and spit on the mask and started the long march back home. The land looked up through squinting slits at the rain. Something like a man began to form beneath the slab of tight-ringed oak. The mud had been watered, with blood and with tears, with spit and with rain. And now, as it rose, it wore a new face.